What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this Craftsman chainsaw, but this would be the same with about any chainsaw that's got an automatic oiler. The problem is this oiler is not working, and I've confirmed that by holding the bar slightly off the ground with the saw running and pull the throttle, and you should see kind of a line of oil get thrown on the ground off of the bar. And in this case, I don't see any oil coming out of this saw. So I actually went a step further and removed the bar, and you should see your oil kind of running out of the oiler hole, and I don't see that either. So in that case, this oiler is not working. So what we're going to do is take it apart very simply and see if there's a clog or a stripped gear or maybe a plugged line or filter, or what the deal is. So the first thing you want to do is what I've already done, and that's remove your side cover. It's right here, just with your two bar nuts. And then you can slide the bar and chain off. The next thing we've got to do is the oiler is this under this black cover right here behind the clutch. So we've got to actually remove our clutch. And a lot of times you'll see an arrow and it says off in that direction. So this is actually left-hand threaded. We're going to act as if we're tightening it to take it off. And the best way I've found is just to put a screwdriver on the edge of the clutch here and give that a smack with a hammer. And hopefully, if it's not rusted on or on too tightly, that quick smack will break this loose and it'll unthread. If not, another thing you can do is take your spark plug out and slowly pull the cord until the piston drops down in the cylinder. But I would say you don't want it to drop far enough that you can see the ports. There's an intake and an exhaust port, and those are kind of an oblong shaped hole on the front and rear of the cylinder. You want to go down and then come back just until those holes are covered. Otherwise, when you take your rope and stuff it in the hole, what you're doing is creating a soft rope blockage that as you pull that piston back up, or in other words, when this spins and you're trying to remove it and that piston's going up, it'll be forced up against the rope and kind of hold it in place while you take the clutch off. So we're going to try the first method. I'll set you up over here. We'll try the first method of just smacking it real quick with a hammer. And if that doesn't work, sorry, just take a second to get you set. If that doesn't work, we'll have to stuff some rope in the cylinder. So grab a hammer here, and we want to go, in my case, clockwise, and I'm just going to give this a smack. And you can see if it's working because the clutch will spin on the shaft. Give it one more try. Nope, it looks like we're going to have to use the rope method. So no big deal there, and it's a little bonus footage for you guys. We'll take the top cover off. And these screws are captured, which is kind of nice. They'll stay in place in the cover so I don't lose them. And then remove our spark plug next. And I'll try my best to show you what this looks like. We'll look down in the cylinder here. So you can see, hopefully, that's the top of the piston right there. It's all the way up. And so as I pull the rope, this is going to be very difficult to show. But as I pull the rope, there, that's pretty good. You can see the piston is going down. I can't get my lighting quite right. There, going down. Pretty soon we'll see it come back up. There it is again. So at that point, when it just starts to come back up, right there, I'm going to go ahead and stuff some rope in there. And we also want to look to the back, and this is hard to see, but there's that exhaust port, and you can just see the top of it. So I'm going to go slightly more. And now that exhaust port is covered. Boy, if you've never tried to film the inside of a cylinder before, give it a try and let me know how it goes. So what we're going to do now is stuff a little bit of rope in there, and then we'll pull on the cord again, and this will get tight and lock that piston in place. Then we'll be able to take our clutch off. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've just got some nylon starter rope, ironically. I'm going to turn this funky light on again. And I just use a flat screwdriver, here it is, and gently fill this cylinder with the rope. Shouldn't take very much, it's a pretty tiny cylinder. But you want to put as much as you can in there. And the reason I pull the piston up until it covers those intake and exhaust ports is because one time I didn't do that and the rope was going into the exhaust port, and then when I pulled the piston up it got jammed in there and there was not a real good way to get it back out without going to more trouble. So alright, we've got that stuffed in, and now as I turn this, it's stuck in place. You can see I'm pulling on the rope and it's not spinning. So that'll allow us to smack this clutch again and break it loose. Try that again. There we go. So there you can see our clutch is spinning on the shaft. You can just unthread that. And keep track of the order of things here. We've got our clutch. I'm going to place that face down. Then we've got this large washer. I'll place that face down even though it doesn't make a difference. And then our clutch drum, just like that. And the needle bearing stayed in the drum. There's a needle bearing that might stay on the shaft. You just want to make sure that's inside the drum. And finally, a washer on the back side of the clutch. Okay, so that brought us to our oiler right here, just behind this black cover. So that's going to be a Phillips screwdriver. And we'll take these screws out, and once I get that, I'll show you what it looks like underneath. I've got the two screws out, and in my case I've just got to slide this shim out of the way. That's not in the best condition either. I might look at replacing that. And then you can see our oiler right here. So this is just going to slide out. Try and get my hand out of the way. And you can see that bottom hose attaches to our oil tank. We're getting oil that far because it's running out. But the problem with our oiler, if we look at the bottom side, look at that gear in there. There's a gear that meshes with this little spiral on the crankshaft, and that spiral runs this gear, which is plastic, and that plastic is completely eaten up. So we found our problem right there. A couple other things you might find is maybe you won't get oil right here out of the pump, or sorry, out of the tank. That would mean you've got a blockage in your line, or maybe the line fell off or the filter's plugged. You might check that. But in my case, I've just got a stripped oil pump gear, and I'm going to have to order a new oil pump. So that's it for the video. Hopefully this helps you find your problem, and if not, you can always ask down in the comments below. Otherwise, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next video.